A second Mishnah. Second Mishnah.
This chapter.
Remember, last week we spoke about the Mishnah. We started about 10 statements that God made, and He brought about the creation. עשרה דורות מאדם עד נוח. 10 generations from, no, this is today. At that time he spoke 10 מאמרות של עברי העולם, 10 statements how God created the world. We discussed it last week. This Mishnah, and seems to be the motto, is try to keep the number 10 as a keyword. And here comes 10 דורות, there are 10 generations from Noach to Abraham. And what is the purpose of this statement? להודיע כמה אורך אפיים לפניו. Hashem great in his patience, שכל הדורות היו מכוסים לפניו. From the time of Noach, 10 generations, they continued, of course it started earlier, but continued to anger him, until עד שבא אברהם, אבינו, וקיבל שכר כולם. Until Abraham Avinu came along, and he got the reward for all those that he received the reward. Until Abraham, our father, came and received the reward that was due to them all. So there is a lot of ideas here. I want to perhaps first discuss we said that the 10 statements of creation of the world shows how important is the world that Hashem created, and the wicked people are destroying the world with their wickedness. Our Mishnah, there is showing the deterioration of these 10 generations between Noach to Abraham, and Abraham is like saved the world from destruction, and we'll talk about Abraham, and I'd like to read to you a couple of midrashim in English. Some of them are known, some of them are not. The idea is there is here explanation or to show what is the difference between Abraham and Noach. And that's, it says he said there are 10 generations from Noach to Abraham, and until Abraham came along and he actually received this Sachar Kulam. What about Noach? One hand, after the generations of, we see that when we read the Breshit, we see a deterioration from the time of Adam and Chava and their children and descendants. Adam, although that he was the creation, God created him, he was supposed to be the ideal perfect man. Nevertheless, he also sinned by eating the forbidden food. Then his son, Cain, already second generation, there is murder. Cain killed Abel, brother. And so God goes, that became Dora Flaga, those people who build the tower, the Belen Tower. Then, so there is a deterioration, the 10th generation. And Noach, the Parshat Noach starts, Noach איש צדיק תמים היה בדורותיו, Noach was a righteous man. But still, is not compared to Avraham. Avraham, he says, all the generation were made Hashem angry, but Avraham like saved the situation and he got the reward for everybody. So I want to read to you in some English stories about Avraham that we should understand who was Avraham. The different between Avraham received the reward of all, but was no cosmic destruction. Noach, this time, there is a Mabul, there was a flood. So Noach, he was a tzaddik, as it says, tzaddik tamim medorotav in each generation, but yet he didn't save the generation. He only saved himself. And the rabbis make interesting observation. Noach was told to build the ark, Tevat Noach. Why? Because God said, I'm going to destroy the world is corrupted, it's the end. We don't find anything that Noach comes to argue with God. Give people a chance. Maybe there is something positive to try to save. He was quite happy to build the ark as long as he and his family will be saved. In Yiddish, it's called that Noach was a tzaddik in pelts. Pelts is a fur coat. What does it mean? If it's cold, there are two ways how you can contra, to do something contra to cold weather. Either you wear yourself a fur coat, so it means you just manage to save yourself, to keep yourself warm, to put a heater, and other people also can get warm. This is the difference between a tzaddik and pelz. Tzaddik is a tzaddik, but only worried about himself. He was not worried about others. Unlike Abraham, as we remember, Abraham developed himself also to recognize God, and there is also interesting story. How did he come to this belief? We'll talk in a minute. But we remember that when Abraham was told that Hashem is going to destroy Sodom, Abraham wasn't satisfied. Okay, I'm not there, as long as my life is saved. He was arguing with God. Maybe there will be 10 righteous people, maybe 5 righteous people. He was arguing to try and save others. And this is a very big difference between Abraham and Noach. Noach merely saved himself and his family. The rest of the world was destroyed. But Abraham is different. So Abraham was concerned with his fellow men. We learn Abraham had a father, Terach. Terach took Abraham, his son, and Lot, his generation. Lot, sorry, Lot is his grandson, and Sarah. They went forth together from Chur to go to the land of Canaan. The Midrash says, provides a rounded background. Abraham was born in a time of idol worshiper. Everyone had his god of wood and stone, to which he paid reverent homage. Then Nimrod, the mighty warrior king, declared himself too a divine being to worship in fear. Abraham however, was blessed with a troublesome gift of independent mind, watching the sun and moon alternate in heaven. He grew aware in awe of supreme but invisible creator, who alone was worthy of trust and worship. So he realized how utterly worthless were the idols that everyone venerated, yet his son father Terach was a priest of idolatry, who fashioned little gods for sale out of wood and metal. I'm sure these stories you remember maybe from kindergarten, from nursery school, that in one day Abraham Noach Terach sent Abraham to sell his god, and Abraham said to the buyer, "How old are you?" Asked Abraham. "Oh, I'm about 50 or 60, was the reply. Abraham said, I pity a man of 60 who wants to worship an old idol, a one-day-old idol. Just yesterday, my father fashioned it with with mallet and chisel. Does it make sense that a person like you should go and worship that you are an old man to something that younger than in one day? The Medrash continues, ashamed, the man threw down the idol, took back his money, and left. When other people came, the same thing took place. Abraham discouraged one and all and made no sales. Towards evening, a woman brought a dish of fine flour and asked him, please offer this to the idols. Abraham acted with dispatch. With a heavy club, he smashed all the idols except the largest. In his hand, he placed the club. When Terach returned, he demanded at once, who did this? Abraham replied, why should I deny it? A woman brought a dish of fine flour and said, here, offer to them. When I did, each began insisting, even the gods, I want to eat first. And this big one rose up, took the club, and smashed them all. Terach said, why would you fool me? Do they know anything then? Can they use hands and legs? Can they speak or get angry? So Abraham said to him, may your ears hear what your mouth utters. So in other words, he saw as a task to try to spread the belief in God from a very young age. Then Terach so took his son to the king, Nimrod. Nimrod wanted to be the god. Nimrod engaged young upstarts in argument. Do you not know that I am Lord over all? At my command, do the sun, moon, and stars appear? Says Abraham, by your life, I didn't know this. But let me ask you one thing of you. Ordinarily, the sun rises in the east. It's the long Mishnah, the 22 long Mishnah, some points it can be. Oh dear, I don't understand what? Repeat?
I think somebody had on was unmuted, but I've just muted him.
Oh, okay. So ordinarily said the sun rises in the east and sets in the west. Abraham said to Nimrod, command it to rise tomorrow in the west and set in the east, and I will attest that you are a God without equal. Or, if you like, tell me what is my heart and what I want to do. He challenged Nimrod, unable to reply. Nimrod tried a different tack. Let us worship fire, said Nimrod. Avram said, let us rather worship our water, which extinguishes fire. So Nimrod said, very well, let us worship water. Then Avram said, let's rather worship the clouds, they carry the water. Very well, said Nimrod. And so it goes on and on and on. Then he said, if you would play it words with me, venerate fire alone, I will therefore throw you into it and let your God whom you worship come and save you. So we know the story. Abraham was thrown into the fire, and of course, God saved him, nothing happened. So Abraham is not a tzaddik in Pelz. He's worried about others. He wants to try and help other people to find the right way. And when the time came to leave Haran for Canaan, we read the Abraham and his wife took them the soul that they had made in Haran. In other words, Abraham was busy like trying to spread the belief in God, and he had already people following them. These are the souls that he took with him. They said, the verse said, this is the souls that they had made. Now they didn't create them, of course. They made the souls to the people to accept God, the faith in God. So Abraham created love. He freed people from bonds of fear and superstition to find a sure path of faith and confidence. Blessed life. And Avraham also has got a title, Avraham Ivri. The Hebrew Avraham Hebrew, but Chazal say what the Ivri means, because all the world was me'ever echad, one side, while he stood on the other side. He stood me'ever acher, on the other side. So Avraham was like a single-handed to try to fight the world in his time. And again, we see that Avraham tried to save Lot when Lot was taken by the kings there in prison. Avraham, as we know, מכניס אורחים. Avraham kept open house. His dwelling was open to the four winds. Any passerby from any direction was welcome to enter and eat at his table. And when people wanted to thank him, Avraham said, don't thank me, give thanks to Hashem. So there are so much more stories, and this was like the basis, of course. He started the belief in God that we follow, Abraham, and then his family, Yitzchak, Yaakov, etc., etc. Right, so this is what the characteristic of Abraham. As I said, there are more stories. Abraham was a supreme quality to bring mankind in loving kindness, a clear, pristine knowledge of a creator who is also a father in heaven. This quality is hallmark of the Hebrews. It lived on the Hebrew people until the Sinai. It was forbidden to be a kingdom of Kohanim, Am Israel, to be a holy nation. And it brings a kind of illustrate a parable. But a person invests thousands of dollars to drill for diamonds, but finds nothing. He pours yet more money and time into his project, and still yields him only disappointment and despair. Then one day he digs out a valuable gem of such size and luster that it compensates him for his entire investment. So this is what the Medrash give this parable. Hashem tolerated 10 generations from Adam until Noach, and then invested time and patience to endure 10 more from Noach to Abraham, if you may so to speak. At long last, he found the gem, Abraham, faithful to Hashem. At last, this find compensated for the entire investment, justified all creation. He brought hope. So this is the introduction. What was Abraham that he deserved to be mentioned, that he received the reward for all of them, which we don't find it in Noach. And this is what they say. Noach, he was a righteous man in pelts, only himself. Abraham was not satisfied just that he knows the truth and he saved himself, but he wanted to see that others also should see the truth and follow it. And of course, all this we know from all the tests that Abraham was tested, which this is the following Mishnah, Saran Yisonot, we won't talk about it, but also we'll come back to speak more ideas on this Mishnah that we read now. So with your permission, I feel, as I said, exhausted. Maybe you could feel yourself. And so we'll finish here. And in Mirz Hashem, hopefully the next week I feel stronger and better. And then we could continue with this Mishnah that we, about the 10 generations between Noach to Abraham. Okay.
Yeah.
I wish you a
Thank
first
you very
flavor
much.
around.
Thank you,
I
Ram.
wish you a first
Better.
Lema.
Shlomo.
Thank you.
Rabbi.
Much stronger.
Yeah,
Lema.
please go.
Refresh Lema.
Thank you. Thank you.
Be strong.
Hagazid,
Start
Hagazid.
resting.
Thank you, Rabbi. Refresh Lema.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Good night. Good night.
Good night.